Okay, so there's 3 components in Discovery Education Experience that you can build things. It's really kind of awesome. I think you're going to like this best of all. And they're also very intuitive and repetitive and connected when you think about them. So we're going to go over quiz, where you can do a live quiz kind of on the fly, where you ask the questions out loud to the students and then they answer them, and Discovery Education records it so you can generate a report. There are standard quizzes, and then they also have video quizzes that emulate like an Ed Puzzle or an Educanon, depending on if you've ever used those things. Basically, it's a video that plays, and then you can insert questions throughout the video, and the video plays, stops that part, and then the students answer the question, and then the video continues. The assessment piece, I like the best. It's been with them forever. I really, really enjoy it. I guess I'm old school Discovery Education. I love the content. I love the resources that they have. But you can build assessments. You search for stuff, and then in a question bank, you can read the questions that are already built for you and come up with an assessment based on the things that you found. And there'll be filter options, and I'll show you how to navigate that. And then Studio is new, and if you have the paid version, I think this is the best part of that. They have templates for you. You can either build a board or a slideshow. It's all built within, and then it has the same functionality as all the other resources where you can share it, save it, my content, download it, all that kind of stuff. So this portion of Discovery Education Experience can be pretty lengthy in my explanation here, but I'm going to try to do it with brevity. So, because some of it is repetitious. I think I'm going to start with the quiz. I'm going to go with the quiz builder. So when you click on quiz, you can search for things. I don't have any quizzes, so I would need to create a quiz. I can also ask a live quiz. And when you click on that, you'll verbally dictate quiz questions live, name the activity, and when you launch it and the students are answering, it is going to record what they're answering based on their participation. So I'm going to cancel that. If I want to create a brand new quiz, I can do it down here, or I can do it up here. As always, I probably should navigate you this way. So when I hit create a new quiz, you can select which type you want. Do you want to build a new one or ask live questions, verbally ask questions live? I already showed you that, so I'm just going to go build a new quiz. But the reason that you want to create this thing and save it, because it will record the responses from the students, generate a report per student, per individual, based on the fact that you've added them. The more I think about this, I probably should have showed you how to add a class first. Again, if you want to do that, jump to the 4th video and see how you add a class. But it's really simple. So I'm going to hit next steps. And do I want a video quiz or a standard quiz? And I'm going to show you the standard quiz first. Hit next. And basically, you're going to have this interface where you're going to type the question and the options and then tell it which one is correct. And that's kind of the way that we do it all along on any kind of platform that helps you build quizzes. So I'm going to name it Video Explanation YouTube. I hit start building, and then it's going to walk me through the process. So look at all these amazing question options that you have. So I can do short answer, I can do poll, I can do multiple choice, multiple select, which is check boxes, which will emulate the online testing. You can do audio, and beta means that they're just practicing that. And students draw or type over uploaded images, or students draw their own response. Now, this is similar to Nearpod. If you are a Nearpod person, a lot of what Discovery Education Experience is doing is taking the popular aspects of other tools and combining them with the wonderful resources that they've always had. So I'm going to just hit and add a question. It's going to default to the multiple choice, but this is similar to Google Forms. If you're used to doing Google Forms and creating assessments with that, where you have the question type up here. So all I did was hit plus. I could have hit add one of those other things in there as well. So you type your question here. What is the answer to 2 + 2? And then you type your answers in there. Over here, you can tell which one's correct. And then I can add a new choice and put that over there as well. Down here, you can type teacher's notes to yourself. And then the setting is auto graded. Also, you can upload an image if you want something to be associated with that question. And when you hit upload, it will navigate you to your device, whichever device you're on, to be able to upload that. So I saved that question. Now what I want to do is add another one. And if I want to go back, see this left-hand side, I can go back to question 1. If I want to edit that, question 2 is what I'm on. I haven't saved it yet. And then at the end, after I'm done creating this quiz, okay, so I can go to the next one, the polling question. I can launch it and see what my quiz looks like. So which one is the best? And I can put pizza, tacos. You can add more choices. Add teacher notes. And then the poll question isn't scored. It will only tell whether they participated in it or not. So I like that one. I'm going to save. I can upload an image as well. I go over here. Oh, I want to go back and look at question 1 and alter and edit that. Question 2. I hit add. So now I want to do a multiple select. So that's a checkbox. Select all, that apply. Put my notes, whatever I need, and then, whoops, cancel. It's going to be auto graded, and I'm going to say that these 2 answers are correct, dog and horse. Upload an image if I want, and then I hit save. I can also delete the question if I want through the 3 dots. Now I hit add a question. It automatically puts it at number 4, question number 4, and it did multiple choice. I want to do a draw. The draw question would be, draw me a picture of what you think. And then teacher notes there. And basically it'll give the students a blank canvas for them to draw on. I'm going to hit add again. Annotate this one. It probably would be best if I added a picture from my computer so that the students could annotate on it. See if I have any images that we'll be able to, I think I have some on my desktop. All right, so you have to do an image. I'm glad I learned that. Whoops, I can go get more images. There we go. I selected it. That's good to know too. All you have, after you upload the image, you have to click on it to select that's the one you want. And I bet you every time I go to upload an image or add an image that it will show that in my media library there. Okay. I'll hit save. That one was saved successfully. If I add another question, now I can do audio, and you want to have the students describe something. I can upload an image associated with that. Okay, so I'm going to use the same image as I had before. Maybe I want the students to explain something based on this image. Maybe I give them a picture and say, what's wrong with this? How does this conflict with the story that we're reading in class? But you're building it around that. So I can add the question here, add my teacher notes as always, and then the audio questions are not scored because you can't say what's right or wrong. So there is my quiz that I've created. And when I'm ready to do something with that quiz, I can launch it now. I can assign it. I can go back and edit it more. I can share or I can delete. If I share, I can go back and get the link. If I launch it, it will show what it's going to look like. So this is going to be very much like those other tools that are out there, that I will launch it, give the students a code, and the students will join that quiz to be able to answer those questions. I also can assign it, put it into their Discovery Education classroom, which inadvertently can be put into their Google Classroom. So when you go to my quizzes, before it was just kind of blank and had a little dog down there saying create a quiz. Now we create new up here. We can still ask live questions here. We can also do it through the create new, but also you can see that my quizzes, the results of the students who have taken the test will be recorded there. Now, this is all my tests. I could look at video quizzes, which I have none, or I could go to standard quizzes, which I have one. So this is just to filter out the way that it looks for your from your view as a teacher. Now I can also do the create new, build a new quiz, and then I could choose video from the next steps, video quiz, next step, and it's going to walk me through the steps of finding a video. So here's the one that I want. I want the Magic School Bus. That's the one I'm going to choose. I could have searched up here for a video. I'm going to enter the title, example video quiz, YouTube. So I know that's where I'm doing it. I'm going to be very specific. Select video. That's what I want. And now I can add a new question. This one's doing short answer. I can go up here and say poll and multiple choice. I can say, what do you think? What do you think this video about? I've been thinking about it before. I can type options in here. Add a new choice. Give them a time limit of how long they can answer it. And then I can put my teacher notes down here. So what you're doing is watching the video to see where you want to add the next question. You can pause or turn off the sound, mute the sound, and then pause as you find things. So, oh, I have a portion there where I want to add a question. So I hit add new. It gives me question 2. I type the question in here. What are they searching for? And then I'm giving them 30 seconds to answer that. Put my teacher notes in there, save and play. So what you're doing is you're saving that. It's going to move on. It's going to leave a gray dot wherever my questions are. And then when I'm ready to put another question in, I just hit add new question. I select what kind I want, and then I fill in all the options. When I'm finished, I hit save and close, and it'll take me back to this my quizzes area to be able to look at video quizzes, which now I have 1, and my standards quiz, which I have 1, and all, which I have 2. So the assessment builder is next. When I click on assessment builder, a lot of this is going to look a little bit similar. This one is actually building things from a pool of what they have created. Create a technology enhanced assessment from an item library that offers a variety of interactive item types. Okay, so these are my assessments. I don't have any built yet, so I'm going to hit create an assignment. It can be a practice assessment, a concept-based assessment, a standards-based assessment. I'm going to go with practice assessment. All of these are similar. When I get in here, I'm going to name it my practice assessment YouTube. Give my instructions, and I can choose to display the assessment items in a random order. So if you're worried about students cheating, and I hit save and continue. So I named it. which is going to be kind of like the same for everything. Now, I have no assessment saved in my content. I could create a folder within my content and name it YouTube examples. Hit check, that's what I want to call it. And then that's where I want to add that assessment. It's added and it walks me through the rest of the process. So I'm going to search for some certain items. I could also create an item. And we've done that in the quiz builder. But I'm going to search for fractions. I have no idea what's going to come up. So I'm going to hit enter, and there's 1 of 5 of 8. Oh, here's a question. I like that question. Boom, let's do it. What fraction of the food that elephants eat is actually digested? I know this has nothing to do with what I originally had Googled, but I found these questions that are already built that I love. So I'm going to just add these in there. This is kind of what I was looking for options. I would give them a video, or I could give them a picture, or I could give them a PDF of an article that they could read, that they could find this information from. So I'm happy with that. I can put more instructions in there if I want to. I can go to the assessment settings, and then I can hit create an item. And then just like in the quiz builder, I can ask a question, have an answer, and then tell it which one is correct. Points for correct responses. Any kind of keyword I want to add. So if it's searchable by someone else or searchable by me. But I'm not going to do any of that stuff. You could keep that one. Someone hit save draft. Add to assessment. Now I'm going to go to my assessment. I don't want to create another item. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 that I found in their library resources, and 1 that I built. So now I can assign it, or I can search for more items. I can still change all of my settings associated with it. And now when I go back to my assessment builder and I click on it, you can see that I have an assessment that is done for me. I have the actions next to it, just like always, and I can assign, copy, edit, or I can move it to the trash. The last content builder from the teacher's perspective that's left over, and then the students can do the studio as well, is the studio. So I'm going to click on studio, and it's going to take you to an interface that looks similar to all the other ones, where you have the create new, and you have the way that you can sort it. You can search through your materials and the content that you created in My Studio. Basically what the studio is, when I hit create, now keep in mind, this is not something I created. This is something that I added through one of the other content searches that I did. So when I was browsing, I found this thing, copy or connect the dots, and then I made a copy of it. And then when you make a copy of it, you can edit it in certain ways. And when you edit it, it recognizes it as something in your studio. So I'm not sure if that's the right way to look at this, but when I hit create new, it's going to be like creating a new slideshow, like a Google slideshow or a new material, and you can add whatever you want to it. I think this is kind of like the way Nearpod is with adding a PDF, adding an activity, adding content. And so you can do all these things, but build it in this lesson. So I'm not sure why they call it a studio. They probably should call it lesson builder, because it'll allow you to create these activities of content, resources from Discovery Educational Experience, and put it in the order that you want, the way that you want to teach it, and the way you want to navigate the students around that certain topic. So the 3 options that you have when you hit create new are activity templates. Basically what you're going to do is look at something that they already have created with you. It's a lesson that you can have the students go through, a board, which is adding content and pages together, and then a slideshow. and you have only a certain amount of space to add that content. And this is just basically a presentation. So I'm going to stumble you through the activity templates. So just like some of the children's menus and some of the restaurants where you're going to pick a template, you're going to add the content that you want to it, and then you're going to assign it and share it with students. So let's get Vinny with it. And it's for vocabulary, development, summarizing key ideas. So I'm going to click on that one. And page 1 of 1, I can look at the activity. This is what I'm talking about with the dot, the connect the dots one that I had. It tells you about this one, but you can scroll through and you can see exactly what's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to add something here, here, and here. Upload a picture of your completed Venn diagram below. So it's going to have an activity for the students. So I'm going to build this activity. It's going to open it up in Studio. I'll have the option of editing what it says. Now, this is something that's already created for the students. Check out the media below. Think about, this is a student assignment. The students are reading this. Think about the similarities and differences in the content. Create a Venn diagram. They're going to add it right there, like the one pictured, and label the 2 circles. Review the media again and add information to your diagram based on how you labeled your circles. Okay, and then over here it has the teacher's note. Add a name of for your activity. This is for us. We need to do this. Add 2 pieces of media content for the students to view. So 1, 2. I'm going to put something in there, and then have the students understand what they're supposed to do with that. Okay, so when you first get into the Studio and you start to try to make changes based on the way it's guiding you in the teacher's notes, you do need to exit out of this. And then now I can click on activity title. It's going to be comparing apples to oranges. And then here I'm going to, I can search DE or from my content if I've already browsed and found something and added it to my content, or something from my quick list, upload from my device. I can put text, I can put a button, and I can also go to some of the quiz items I've had. But I'm going to put search DE, and I'm going to look up Apple, and I'm going to add that, and it's going to add it to that area. And then over here, I'm going to look search. I'm just going to choose that, add selected, and I could put any of the content that I find in there. Upload a picture of your completed Venn diagram below. I can also add additional content wherever on the side there. So I can look for a quiz, put a question in here. So basically what I'm doing is I am taking all the things that I've told you about with browsing and finding things and standard-based quizzes that I've built, assessments, any of the things that I've created. And now I can take all those things that I've saved either to my content or quick links or to my quiz or my assessment pieces. And now I can click add and build something from my Studio. Now this one was a template. Now that I'm done, I can assign it, I can copy, I can print preview, I can delete. So now I'm going to go back to my education, Discovery Education home, and I'm going to click back on the Studio, and you'll see that it's similar. So here's my Get Venny. I can do the ... I can delete, I can go, whoops, I can go back in, click on it and edit it, which I don't want to. So I'm just going to go back. But if I hit create new and I say board or slideshow, you're going to see that it's going to be very similar to what you just saw, but blank. It's not going to have any starting point. So the template has at least a starting point and something that you're guiding them towards. The teacher notes I could click on, but remember, I can't do anything in here until I get rid of those teacher notes. I can customize the way the picture looks. I'm going to go with a pattern around the outside. Hit the X there. But what I really want to do is I want to add from my content things that I've done. There's the Mythbuster chimney cannon. Choose, and now that's on there. And I can do the same thing from, add text. This is text. I can duplicate, I can edit, delete, and I can upload something from my device. I can put a button in there, edit the button, and I can put text on here, click here, and then I can have it linked to something, or I can have it switch pages, and I can also put in a destination URL that I want it to go to. So again, a navigating of lesson, or a web quest, if you will, so you can move the kids around. Up here, I didn't show you this in the other one, but if I want to go up to that one of one page, I can click on that and I can do a blank page, or I can find a layout page. And this is similar to good old days PowerPoint and now Google Slides. So if I choose that, now I have similar to the template, except it doesn't have a curriculum or a guide of subject. I can click on this and now I can add from my content or my quick list. I can type my question there. It just gives me kind of a little bit more of a layout with me having more control over what I want to put in there, as opposed to the way the template had the Venn diagram and telling me what to do. So I'm done with that one. I can share it, which you can do the sharing through a link. I can also assign, copy, print, delete, but I'm finished with it. So I'm going to go back to my studio, and you can see that it gave it a weird name because I didn't name it correctly. But I also can go back to create new and do slideshow. Now, the thing that I like about slideshow is if you're out of space, same thing with board, if you're out of space, it tells you you're out of space. This looks similar. There's the teacher's notes that I could add. I can add the customization, apply it to all, close it, add to select something that I want here. There, that's what I want, add it. And now I can duplicate that, edit it, put text below it, text beside, image only. And so what you're doing is you're building this whiteboard example of a lesson that you can help the students navigate through. And again, I can click this drop down and I can do blank slide or layout. I can duplicate the slide, but this is the way that you can create content, lessons, activities for your students. Now, this is where I should have gone to change the name of my slideshow. I can hit the pencil next to it and I can call it YouTube Studio Example. And then it will save it. So I'm done with that. I go back to my studio and I still have that list of things that I've built. And, you know, you can navigate how you want to use it from there by assigning it to your students and so on. So those are the builder aspects, the studio, the assessment, the quiz builder. Like I said, they're all very similar in what they do. The last thing that I'm going to show you in the final video, if you haven't already watched it, is how to create a classroom, add students to it, and what you can do to impersonate a student to see what it looks like from their perspective.